Now, our next game is a rematch from 2 weeks ago when the Giants shocked the world and certainly shocked the Eagles, just putting a pounding on them at MetLife in New Jersey. But this game is going to be across the border in Philly, and it's Giants at Eagles, and the Giants are coming off just one of the most gut wrenching losses that you could ever imagine after the lead that they dropped to the Broncos. Honestly, one of the games of the year so far, seeing that Broncos comeback. Uh, Came down to a missed extra point by the Giants kicker. I don't know what his status is. Is he
He's
officially?
cut. He's gone.
I was going to say
Young
he's
Wei
got to be
Koo.
gone. It's going
I
to be
don't know
Young Wei
why he
Koo. Okay,
started. I don't know why he
yeah,
even dressed. They had
I would
Young
have
Wei
had
Koo
Young
on.
Wei Koo, but I'm a Dabo guy, so I won't question it. But the Giants going up against the Eagles, and this feels like Eagles are at -7. Obviously, you, +7 feels like a value for any team, especially a team that won the past couple a couple of weeks ago, just 2 weeks ago. This Giants team won outright against the Eagles, but I feel like the Eagles just feel like a different team now, as do the Giants. And this is a game where after the Eagles drop that game to the Giants, they're going to be motivated. They're going to be, you know, ready to take the Giants' heads off. It feels like. Obviously, Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo played well, and there's a reason that the Giants had such a big lead on the Broncos to give up. But at the same time, that loss felt completely deflating. It felt like a loss that would have residual effects for the Giants going through the rest of this season. And the Eagles are certainly on the upswing after their big win against uh, the Vikings with the offense and defense clicking, them being able to play complementary football. Look for it to continue. This is a real tough spot for Jackson Dart as a rookie, no matter how impressive he's been. So give me the Eagles in this game to win and to cover that 7 point spread. I think if there were a game where they wanted to make a statement against a lesser opponent, despite dropping the game 2 weeks ago, this feels like a game that the Eagles win big. Does anybody have the Giants in this one?
I've got the under. Look, AJ Brown missed practice today. We'll see as he progresses throughout the week. Um, look, and this spread's at 7 right now with the Eagles at home. And if you think back to a couple weeks ago, this was 7 with the Eagles on the road. So probably about a 1.5 upgrade for the Giants. That seems about right. Honestly, I think this spread is a stay away for me. Maybe until we get some clarification on AJ Brown. But I do agree with you, Pat. I do see the Eagles rebounding. But largely because look, this is the second time you're seeing Jackson Dart in the span of 2 weeks. And we kind of see as the rookie quarterbacks, as some tape gets to put out on them, right? You start seeing what they're good at and what they're not. Well, Jackson Dart loves to bail out of the pocket. He bails out of the pocket at the highest rate of any quarterback in the NFL. I think the Eagles defense is going to come in prepared. I don't think the Giants are going to get out to as hot of a start as they did the last time they played the Eagles. And quite frankly, 44 points, the totals are 44 and a half right now. I still think that, with Cam Jurgens out, I don't think that the Eagles offense, despite, their team putting up like, what was it, 27 points last Sunday, they had a defensive touchdown. I still think there's some limitations and something structurally wrong with the Eagles offense, but I do think that their defense comes up big time in this game. Second time seeing Jackson Dart, I think they'll be prepared. And for that, I really like the under 44 and a half. And look, if it plays out like you think it would, Pat, I see 24-13 written all over this. And if anything, I think both teams are going to try and establish the run, and there'll be some clock churning as well. So I really like the under 44 and a half in this game.
Yeah, I'm staying away from the total just because I think that's one spread where there's just a lot of variance in it. I mean, you just got to think. I mean, this was the same game where Jalen Carter at the beginning of the year spit on that one guy. Quinyon Mitchell tweaked his hamstring, and there was no Landon Dickerson. When they played the first time. The Eagles got to have revenge on their mind. I mean, you're like I said, you're going up to you're going up against a Giants team that just allowed 33 points in that fourth quarter. AJ Brown tweaked his hamstring, but is said to be on track to play in this game. We saw what happened when he becomes part of that offense. They were able to, continue to ride the hot hand and show that they are able to beat you in all so many ways. I feel like at -7, or if it's at 6.5, I feel like the books really have their pulse on where the Eagles are right now. I think this is a game where they come out and impose their will against a Giants team that let's see about Cam Jurgens. If he's questionable, that's going to hurt. But I just don't think they don't have the skill players nor the beef on at least the offensive line side of the ball, to keep up with what I think is going to be a very hungry Eagles team and a very lucky Giants team that is riding that high from, that 33-point fourth quarter against the Broncos. They showed their defense can be exposed. You're going up against a team that is a clock controlling team. Give me the Eagles. I think that plays right into, where they're at with -7.
Christian's ready to play devil's advocate. I just know it.
Yeah.
Here we go.
No, I do.
Jackson Dart.
I like the Giants to cover. I do like the Eagles to win, though. This first game, I know Landon Dickerson was not available. Quinyon, I believe, got hurt. Jalen Carter, I think he had a foot injury at the time. He spit on Dak's face.
Oh, that was Dak. Oh, okay, my bad. Quinyon was the one who tweaked his hamstring before the game.
Yeah, and then so having those three back, big deal. Still some questions with this offense. I do like Devontae Smith and Dallas Goedert. One of them is going to probably have a big game. Probably take Dallas Goedert to have a big game this week, just because we've mentioned the linebackers before. Micah McFadden's been out, I believe. Outside of Okereke, I don't know. So I think a big prop bet game for Goddard. Maybe Devontae scores a touchdown. But ultimately, as long as Jalen Hurts has the pocket that he had last week versus Minnesota, he should be able to win this game relatively handily. It'll be an interesting matchup with this pass rush and the Eagles' offensive line. I think they can contain the offensive line relatively well enough to win this game. But I do like what I'm seeing from Jackson Dart. I thought, did Cam Scatterbo concuss himself last game? Because I felt like there was a significant drop off in what they were doing when he scored that touchdown and intentionally tried to break his neck on somebody's chest in the end zone. So hopefully he's back and good and completely involved in this game. I think that's what keeps it close. But Jalen Carter is going to have a field day. And Jackson Dart's going to leave the pocket a lot.
Yeah, Jackson Dart and Cam Scatterbo are the two guys where I feel like you can't tell if they have a concussion or not because their baseline testing, they're already so out of there. Their baseline testing is already so low that
that's just who they are.
Yeah, it's just who they are. I don't know if you could tell if they have a concussion or not. Either of them, they're both the same guy at all times, concussed or not, I would imagine. But yeah, it's tough for me to pick a side in this game, so I'm not going to go against you two, Pat and Mike. I'm not going to take the Giants. I just think that, especially like you mentioned, Christian, with those guys coming back for the Eagles defense, I think there's a chance the Eagles defense has a field day and at least holds the Giants to a low point total. I don't know what the Giants team total is at, but that might be a way to get at it too. Look at the Giants team total under.
The one part, I know you had mentioned the under turtle. The one part where I do push back against that is I could actually see it. Obviously everyone would be thinking, revenge game for Saquon, but the Giants have been, third most yards in the league against the run, fourth highest EPA per carry against the run. I just think, we could also see Saquon Barkley have a much larger impact, than he did in week 6. and break off some chunk plays. Jalen Hurts came out with the 300 sorry, 26 yards and the 3 touchdowns against Minnesota on Sunday. And we did see him pushing the ball down the field a lot more explosive plays. It was 14 yards per pass attempt. That he was that was his highest in this season. I think they found their rhythm offensively. I think this is an impose your will kind of game with revenge on the mind for Saquon. I just don't see the Giants being able to keep up, and that's why I like the over as well, just in terms of the explosive plays we might see on the Eagles side of the ball.
Yeah, that's fair. I mean, maybe Giants team total is the way to get at it then, in my opinion. I mean, I think that might be
Yeah.
the smartest. I don't know what let me see if I can find it real quick. If not, we can move on.
Yeah.
But
To that point, Mike, I like the chunk plays. I think that's why I do like Devontae and Goddard over the middle of the field a lot. I think they're going to have a lot of big chunk plays. I just don't know if I can trust the Eagles in the red zone yet.